Quilters Newsletter TV, the Quilters community, is brought to you by Handy Quilter, designed by a quilter for quilters, and Husqvarna Viking, keeping the world sewing for over 140 years. Hi, and welcome to Quilters Newsletter TV, the Quilters community. I'm Mary Kate Karr-Petras, and I am back again with Gigi Khalsa, one of our frequent guests.
Hello.
Of course, you're just down the hall.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Gigi is also an associate editor at Quilters Newsletter, and she's here today to talk about an easy lesson that we have in our February-March 2015 issue, and you prepared that lesson for the magazine, and you brought today your samples and showing, or actually some new samples, to show how to do this really fun, easy, very kid-friendly, I would say, transfer technique.
This is really a lot of fun, and you're pretty much limited by what you can trace and color. So basically all you use is Sharpie permanent markers and rubbing alcohol, and of course your fabric that you're transferring onto. It's, like you said, kid-friendly, a lot of fun. You don't need any training. Just go for it.
It doesn't hurt to be artistically talented in the first place.
Sure.
So for instance, the sample that we have in front of us is, you called it Valentine's Bouquet?
That's right.
Valentine's Bouquet. And it's your design, and you illustrated this design, and we have that available on our website.
Yes, you can download the drawing to trace, and you can also get the pattern for the little wall hanging on our website.
But you brought a brand new illustration.
I did, just to make things fun.
Just to make things fun, so let's take a look.
All right, so here is my original drawing. I did a little underwater scene, and I just outlined it in black pen so I could see it when I needed to trace it.
Okay.
Which, here's my tracing, and you can see you just need a very light pencil, because that's not going to be seen once you start coloring it in.
And it won't transfer to the fabric?
It won't.
Okay.
So if you haven't colored in a while, I know some people haven't, the easiest way to go about it is to trace your shapes and then fill in what you need to fill in. And if you go over your colors, don't worry about that. It's really going to look good when it's all done.
Because the colors are going to sort of bleed into one another.
Everything
anyway.
sort of blends. It kind of looks very soft and pretty, but it is fun to have sort of 3D effects or shadows. And you can sort of do that by just sort of using a darker color along one side, and that just sort of brings out, and that just sort of makes it look three-dimensional. And so you just want to color in your entire picture, which will.
It's a great little intro to surface design. A really easy, I think.
It's a lot of
user-friendly.
Yeah. And just, I'm drawing on cardstock, by the way.
Okay.
And that just has a little more substance than your regular paper, because we are going to get it very wet.
Okay, it'll hold up.
Yeah.
Under.
So once you've got your drawing all colored in the way you want, to protect your work surface, you just want a piece of muslin.
Okay.
Just plain muslin, and then get the fabric that you want to transfer onto. And I'm going to lay that right on top. Get it nice and straight. I feel like I have some string under there.
Yeah, okay.
And then you just lay your drawing face down on your fabric. And one thing to remember is if you do type or something, it's going to be reversed. So just keep that in mind. You may not want to do type, but any sort of picture, if it's reversed, it usually is not an issue.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tape this really quick, just to keep it in place while I do my transfer.
Okay, just regular Scotch tape.
Just regular Scotch tape.
Painter's tape or anything like that.
Yep. And now, let's get messy. You'll want something to sort of rub the alcohol around. I've got an old gift card that someone gave me. I'm just going to use that to spread the alcohol. The rubbing alcohol. The rubbing alcohol.
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah.
As we like to say.
I'm still working on that one.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So you really just sort of pour this all over. And you want to get it nice and wet all over wherever your pigment is. But you want to avoid the alcohol sort of dripping off the edge of the page, and that's where your card comes in.
Aha.
You just sort of, and if it drips off the end, it's not the edge. If it drips off the edge, it's not the end of the world.
Okay.
But you might get a little bit of color on your fabric. So basically, now you just spend a couple minutes rubbing that in.
Aha. And this is really where you see that where the cardstock makes
Yes.
a difference, because paper, even at that,
Yeah.
that pressure you're putting on it, would not hold up.
It wouldn't hold up. It might get shredded and ruin your transfer, and then you'd have to do it all over again. And the coloring kind of takes a long time. So really just rub that in until you want to check it, and you can pull that up and see if you want. I think I want a little bit more right up there, so I'm just going to drop a little bit more right there.
Okay.
Do more rubbing. And when I pull that up, you can see
Looking nice.
getting better and better. So just repeat as many times as necessary to get the sort of transfer that you want. And when you're all done, it'll look like, you just peel off the fabric, you know, make sure the excess alcohol is dried.
Okay.
And then when it's done, will look sort of like that. And to set the color, you want to press it with a dry iron.
After it's air dried?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't want it to be damp. And just to be safe, when you're working with pigments, I like to put a protective cloth on my ironing board, just to make sure, in case anything wants to go anywhere.
Chances are the Sharpie wouldn't go onto the bottom of your iron, though?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't need a pressing cloth or a parchment paper?
I suppose it wouldn't hurt. I didn't
If you
use
wanted-
it.
Okay.
I did put one on my ironing board, though.
Got it.
So basically, that's pretty much it.
That just opens up a world of possibilities, though,
Yeah.
to make your own fabric.
It's so fun. I had a lot of fun with this. But, you know, some people don't like drawing. Not everyone likes coloring. Don't worry. You can still do crafts if you don't like those things.
You've had something, well, again, I'm not a drawing artist. That's not my, it's not my strength. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can do to create some fabric.
This is also a lot of fun. So I've got smaller pieces here, and I have a little plastic cup. You can, of course, use bigger ones. I just like this little size.
It's so cute.
It's so cute. And so what you do is you sort of secure your fabric onto your cup with a little rubber band. Sort of. Mine's not centered, but that's okay. I'd probably trim it down anyway.
Okay.
And you get some Sharpies, and you just start marking. Now for this technique, you don't want too much pigment. It'll just get sort of all spread out. So what I'd like to do is sort of little flower designs, I guess. And I just sort of start in the center, make a little mark, and then I'll do some other colors so we can really see what it looks like. And you can just sort of do some dots.
So for those of us who maybe don't draw, but maybe can do a design or a doodle or a motif, you know, whatever word you want to call it, to tell yourself, oh, I'm not good at drawing, but I can do this.
For this technique, dots are perfect.
Excellent.
If you can make a dot, you can do this.
I can do this.
Yep. Let's do one more color just for fun. And I'm just going to sort of get right in there. Let's do something like that. And I just like to make them symmetrical just for fun. And you'll see that it sort of spreads out in a little circle. And it's really cool. So you want about six to 8 drops. Sort of drop that in the center. And
Ooh.
you just sort of have to wait for it to do what it's going to do. But I just leave these to dry for about 10 minutes, take them off, and press them with a dry iron.
And then you brought some samples. Well, you've got some more here.
Yeah, if you want to try one.
No,
you ready?
I'm not. Maybe off camera.
We've got a couple more. You just want to see what
Can I?
different designs look like? Of course.
Because I'm thinking that this might be fun to try with my girls.
Absolutely.
But it's a matter of like, okay, what does mama control? What do we let the children do? So
Don't let them drink this.
I will bear that in mind. Thank you.
And it's fun because they sort of change over time.
They
Like
sure do.
the way that you drop it, like this is the one I did originally. And yeah, you can sort of see, and I
Really
think
radiating outward.
these are a little bit not standing straight just because they're just not. And so I think that's why it's, you know, sort of
I see,
irregular.
since it's not balanced.
Yeah, so maybe if these were weighted down on the bottom, they'd spread evenly.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's try this one.
Yeah.
I want to see what that looks like. Well, not much, but it'll change.
It's blending, and it's you know, taking on a really nice soft appearance.
Yeah,
and
it just sort of spreads
nice.
out, gets really soft and pretty, and the colors sort of change a little bit too, which is interesting to see how that happens. So I've got some samples of this
Sure.
style that I made if you'd like to take a look.
Yeah, I do.
And so you can really get a lot of variety. And it's fun because they really do look like tiny little flowers, especially if you make your markings symmetrical, like I like to do.
Make Christmas decorations,
Oh,
Christmas ornaments. out
You
of
could do
these.
so much. I'm thinking of cutting little hexagons and making a little hexagon pillow or something out of
That's a
these
great
little
idea.
out of these little flowers.
That's a great idea. Well, I think I will have to try this at home.
I think you should.
And just really quick, you put it over the cup just to catch any
Yes,
alcohol
in
that might
case
drop.
you put excess alcohol, it will catch it, and it also helps keep the fabric taut and helps the alcohol spread out really nicely.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, as always, for bringing these fun ideas and easy tutorials to us.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Quilters Newsletter TV, the quilters community, is brought to you by Handy Quilter, designed by a quilter for quilters, and Husqvarna Viking, keeping the world sewing for over 140 years.